In Part 7, we saw the Constitution give the US government the legal power to tax, trade, and mint money. But here's the cold, hard truth: in 1789, that was just ink on parchment. The reality: America was broke. Not just low on cash, but bankrupt and humiliated, broke. We were the startup that burned through its seed funding and had zero credit. The big question wasn't just how to govern, it was how to keep the lights on before the whole experiment collapsed. The job of fixing it fell to Alexander Hamilton. He wasn't a landed aristocrat like Jefferson, he was an immigrant with a relentless hustle and a vision that terrified his rivals. Hamilton knew a secret that most of the founders hated: in the modern world, credit is power. He didn't want the US to just survive, he wanted it to dominate. To do that, he had to make the world actually believe in the American dollar. His first move was a shock to the system, called assumption. Imagine you and 13 friends all have massive, crippling credit card debt from a shared vacation. Hamilton's idea: the federal government would take all that state war debt and put it on one big national tab. Why? Because if the wealthy lenders are waiting for the federal government to pay them back, they suddenly have a massive incentive to make sure that government doesn't fail. It turned debt from a weight into a national blessing, the glue that held the states together. Fun fact: this was so controversial it took a secret dinner party, the room where it happened, where Hamilton traded the US Capitol, moving it to DC, just to get the Virginians to agree. Next up, funding at par. During the war, the government issued IOUs that were now worth pennies. Speculators were buying them up for nothing. Hamilton insisted, "We pay back every cent full face value." People thought he was crazy for rewarding speculators, but Hamilton was playing the long game. He was telling the world, the United States pays its debts. Period. Overnight, American credit rating went from trash to gold standard. Then came the centerpiece, the Bank of the United States. This wasn't just a building, it was an economic engine. It held the tax money, printed a stable currency, and, most importantly, gave out loans. Before this, if you wanted to start a business in America, you were basically on your own. Hamilton created a system where capital could actually circulate. It was the spark that turned a farming nation into a commercial powerhouse. But engines need fuel. That fuel was taxation. Hamilton pushed for an excise tax on whiskey. To farmers in the West, whiskey wasn't just a drink, it was their currency. They rebelled. But Hamilton didn't flinch. He helped lead 13,000 troops into the field to prove one thing: under the Constitution, federal law isn't a suggestion. It's the law. Revenue started flowing, and for the first time, the US Treasury actually had a pulse. By 1795, the transformation was staggering. In just 6 years, Hamilton took a collection of bickering, bankrupt colonies and turned them into a unified financial machine. America was no longer just a dream, it was a business that was open for global trade.